Hello, today I'm going to show you how to get the derivative of cot inverse of x. So you equate this function to y, then you multiply both sides by cot So cot y will just equal x since cot and cot inverse will cancel out. Then from this point you just get the derivative on both sides with respect to x. So the derivative of 1 over tan y, which is the same as cot y, dx is equals to 1. That's our first equation. So from there, we're going to get our second equation using quotient rule. Quotient rule states that the derivative of u over v with respect to dx is just v du over dx minus u dv over dx all over v squared. In our case, our u is 1 and our v is tan y. So let's apply it. The derivative of 1 over tan y with respect to dx will be v, which is tan y, then the derivative of 1 with respect to dx minus u, which is 1, the derivative of tan y with respect to dx all over tan squared y. So a simple way to remember the derivative of tan, sec, cot and cosec, you can use this formula. So you simply write tan, then sec, then you write the 1 over tan, which is just cot, then negative cosec and cosec. So the derivative of tan is the product of these two, sec squared. The derivative of sec is the product of these two, sec and tan. The derivative of cot is negative cosec squared, and the derivative of cosec is negative cosec cot. Okay, so the derivative of tan is sec squared. So the derivative of 1 over tan y with respect to dx is, then remember always that the derivative of a constant is always 0. So it will be 0 minus sec squared y dy over dx. Do not forget the chain rule that applies here. Since this is not with respect to dx, you'll have to, it's not a function of x, you'll have to write dy over dx all over tan squared y. So this is our second equation. Derivative of 1 over tan y with respect to dx equals negative sec squared y dy over dx all over tan squared y. So this is our equation 2. Remember our equation 1, derivative of 1 over tan y with respect to dx is equal to 1. And now we've gotten derivative of 1 over tan y with respect to dx is equals to negative sec squared y dy over dx all over tan squared y. So we'll equate this side to 1. So negative sec squared y dy over dx all over tan squared y equals 1. So we'll multiply by tan squared y negative sec squared y on both sides to obtain dy over dx, which was what we are looking for in the first place, equals negative tan squared y all over sec squared y. You know, even if the negative, it's still the same thing. No matter where you place the negative, it's still the same thing. So in the first place, we had gotten that cot y was equal to x, and cot y is the same as 1 over tan y, and we had obtained it being equal to x. So tan y is equals to 1 over x, and tan squared y will be 1 all over x squared, squaring both sides, the numerator and the denominator. What about sec squared y? we'll have to draw a right angle triangle with an angle y in order to get the value of sec y. So drawing our right angle triangle, this being y, and tan y is, okay, using SOHCAHTOA, where this is sine, this stands for sine opposite hypotenuse, cosine adjacent hypotenuse, and tan opposite adjacent. Opposite, which is 1, and adjacent, which is x. So our hypotenuse, we are going to use the Pythagoras theorem in order to get its value. Hypotenuse is the same as the square root of base squared plus height squared. So the hypotenuse will be the square root of x squared plus height squared, which is 1 squared, is the same as 1. So let's just write it here, x squared plus 1. So what is the value of sec squared y? So we'll have to get the value of sec y first, which is the same as 1 over cos y. So cos y in this case will be adjacent hypotenuse x all over the square root of x squared plus 1. What about sec y? Will just be the inverse, which will be the square root of x squared plus 1 all over x. What about sec squared y? Will just be x squared plus 1 all over x squared. So then the root sign will go, but you'll have to square the denominator since you're squaring both sides. So from here, all we just need to do is to write our results in this. We've already gotten tan squared y as 1 all over x squared, and we've now obtained that sec squared y is x squared plus 1. Can you see it? All over x squared. So dy over dx will be negative 1 all over x squared divided by x squared plus 1 all over x squared. So this is the same as negative 1 x squared times x squared all over x squared plus 1. That and that will cancel. So you'll get negative 1 all over x squared plus 1 is our dy with respect to dx. And remember, we had equated y to be cot inverse x. So the derivative of cot inverse x with respect to dx is negative 1 all over x squared plus 1. Thank you so much for watching my video.